Hello, everybody, and welcome to this exciting episode of the Joyful Money podcast. First of all, I want to say how excited I am for this episode. So, first announcement I want to say is for this month of March so far, I have cracked 25K cash collected in my business, which is super, super exciting. The reason it's so exciting for me is because when I left my consulting job about 18 months ago, my there is a side of my brain that keeps telling me I made the wrong decision because it was like telling me that very likely I wouldn't make what I was making in my 9 to 5 job. So for me to make 25K in my business as a coach, I'm like, wow, this is working. Now, my best month when I was in my consulting job was 50K. So I'm not quite at the point where I was in the past, but the reason I am so excited is because I know that creating 50K, 100K per month is possible in my business. If I could create 25K months in just 18 months, then I know I can do it. So it's so super exciting. The other thing is I am now doing work I absolutely love. So when I was in my 9 to 5, I was consulting for banks and top companies. It was very high pressure, and like I loved what I was doing in IT, but it was just so stressful. Like even when I would go home for weekends, I would still be thinking about my work. But now, because I'm doing work I love, I don't have that same pressure. In fact, when I come down into my office every day to do my work, I have excitement, joy that I cannot even begin to explain. So I feel so blessed. And so this month, I am celebrating that success. The other thing is, okay, so usually you all message me, right? So I get messages in my DMs, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn telling me how my work is impacting you. So I'm gradually getting used to people telling me in the DMs how great my podcast is and how great my content is. But just this morning, I got a notification from LinkedIn on my LinkedIn post. Someone publicly commented that my podcast has really helped her to craft that offer. And she was thanking me. In fact, she commented, I think, over 5 different places on that post. And I am just so grateful that people are publicly acknowledging my work. Now, I until this morning, I had never heard of this amazing human being. Her name is Kiana. She's an amazing person. Like she's even an author. She's done amazing things in the world. So like I was so blown away by her saying it publicly how my podcast has helped her. So I want to officially thank Kiana. And the reason I'm mentioning her name publicly is because she made a public comment. So I typically don't mention people's names, but because this the comments she left on my LinkedIn page is public. So I want to publicly thank her. Thank you so much, Kiana. I truly, truly appreciate you taking the time to comment. And I cannot wait for you to celebrate more successes. So that's my goal for this podcast. I want you to, even without paying me, without joining my program, I want you to get results. That's exactly why I started this podcast. It also goes to show that the more value you create in the world, the more money you make. So I have talked so many times on this podcast how money is created through value. So I want you to do a deep dive and ask yourself, how much value have I created for people? How much free value do I have in the world? Are people messaging me to thank me for the work I'm putting out and people telling me that my work is having an impact? The reason why this is so important is if you want to make money, you have to create value. That's how money is created. And when I say creating value, I'm not saying for you to have an expectation. Like, I don't want you to put out a post or a podcast episode and then you start refreshing your bank account to see if the value is pouring in. That's not how it works. I give out value from the bottom of my heart to help people. I cannot tell you how much free value I have in the world. So Ask yourself, do you have an avenue where you give out value for free? Now, do not be afraid to share your stuff for free. Many people will tell me, oh my God, if I give my stuff away for free, then who's going to pay me for my paid program? That's not how it works. Put out your stuff for free, the money will keep coming. That's how the universe works. In fact, the law is called the law of compensation. And the law of compensation says every human being will be paid in direct proportion to the value they create. So if your goal is to make hundreds of thousands of dollars in your business, even millions of dollars, like my goal is, if that's your goal, then I want to challenge you to start putting out value, put out quality value that people start thanking you for free, right? The value you put out should be free. And then people will be like, wow, if I can get this much value for free, imagine what it will be like to work with this human being. Okay. Now, Kiana's message to me today informed the title of this podcast episode because I want to teach you how to create coaching offers that sell like hotcakes, coaching offers that people want to buy because many coaches actually struggle. In fact, in the last couple of weeks, people have jumped on a consult with me. And when I dived into their businesses, I found out that they haven't even made $1 as a coach, which is really, really heartbreaking. These people have been running their businesses for like 2 years and not one sale. And so many and most of these people have fancy websites. I was blown away. Fancy websites, fancy everything, and not one sale. So that's why on this episode, I want to teach you how to create coaching offers that actually sell. Because if you're not making money, you have an expensive hobby. Because running a business costs money. Having all the software in the background that manages your business, it costs money. It costs money to pay for Zoom if you want to use Zoom for over an hour. It costs money to have um, a website or a funnel. ClickFunnels is $297 per month. It costs money to have a CRM where you can message your contacts. It costs money, right? So all of these tools cost money. And that's why I am so passionate for coaches to start making money. Because the faster you make money, then the longer you stay. If you are not making money, it's very likely you're going to quit very soon. So that's why I am so passionate for you to start making money. Now, you've got the experience, you've got the passion, you've got the expertise. But if your coaching offer isn't selling, then what's the point, right? So let's fix that with today's episode. Now, it's the way your offer is positioned, it's the way your offer is packaged and presented. That's one of the key ways to guarantee that your offer will sell. Okay. And my goal is for you to sell with ease, with consistency, and with confidence. Okay, so let's start with my number one advice. If you want to sell your offers like hotcakes, start with the pain, not the process. Most coaches make the mistake of selling their process, but your client isn't buying your coaching sessions, they are buying a transformation. So ask yourself, what problem are they staying up late Googling solutions for? What are your target audience secretly frustrated about, but too embarrassed to admit publicly? When you hit the pain point, your offer becomes magnetic. So I hear many people say, oh my gosh, when you come on my program, we are going to have 12 sessions. Nobody wants to buy sessions. They want to buy a transformation. And many times people try to focus on niches or offers that they have to explain to people what it is. If your offer isn't clear enough and then you have to constantly explain what your offer is, then very likely you're not going to sell. You want to choose an offer or a niche that people are aware of the pain points. People know they need help. But if you have to teach people that they need help, then you're going to struggle to convert. So, for example, if you are a weight loss coach, people know when they're overweight. People know when they need help. People already experience the pain point of what being overweight causes them. So that's how you know when you're starting with the pain. Okay. So do a soul search and ask yourself, am I really addressing a pain that people are willing to pay for? For example, if I have a toothache, would I be willing to pay to solve my problem? Yeah, very likely yes. Right? So if a dentist wouldn't struggle to get clients because when people have terrible toothaches, they rush to the dental office, the dental clinic, right? But if, for example, you sell vitamin K supplements, that's an example. So you sell vitamin K supplements, and then you have to educate people about what vitamin K does to the body. You have to tell people they need vitamin K. Now, I am not saying we don't need vitamin K. I don't even know if there's something called vitamin K. Um, but that's just an example of how to compare, pinpoint with something else that people are not even aware they need. Okay, so ask yourself, my coach, like the coaching offer I have, is it a painkiller or is it a vitamin? Like, I don't know, I cannot stop laughing, right? So you want to make sure you're selling a painkiller and not a vitamin. Okay. Gosh, that's so funny. Okay. Now, define one clear, compelling promise. Okay, I see this a lot and I'm going to say it again. Confused people say no. Oh, gosh. You can tell I'm having fun with this, right? Okay, let me put my serious face on. Confused people say no. If you have an offer that is so confusing and you're asking yourself why you're not selling, it's because people are confused about your offer, right? Don't try to be too clever when you're crafting your offer. Your offer has to be clear, has to be compelling. Confused people say no. Okay. So people jump on the consult with you, like a free consult or a free strategy call, it's free discovery call, whatever you call it. And at the end of the 1 hour, they are even more confused than before they came on the call. Like, how do you expect them to say yes? The offer is so confusing. Like when you're explaining your offer, when you're explaining your transformation, it's so confusing. That's why people keep saying no. Okay. So if there's one thing I want you to take from this episode today is confused people say no. So your job is to make your offer as clear as possible that a 6-year-old can understand. And here's the thing. Clarity builds trust, and trust opens wallets. When people trust you, that's when they bring out their credit card to pay you. So, for example, my last challenge I ran was get 3 paying clients in 30 days. So I ran a 30-day challenge, and the challenge was 3 clients, 3 high ticket clients in 30 days. How clear can that be? Very clear, a clear promise, a clear timeline, and a clear deliverable. That's what a compelling offer sounds like. Next thing I want you to do is to package your offer like a product, not a time block. Okay, people don't want to pay for your time. Nobody cares if to fulfill your client offer you spend 6 hours. Nobody cares how much of your time will be involved. All people want is a solution. So don't tell me when selling your offer, don't say, oh, you're gonna get 15 one-on-one coaching sessions with me. So instead of selling sessions, I want you to sell the solution. And this is something I see a lot of coaches do, which doesn't make sense to me. They sell sessions per hour and they say, my sessions are $100 per hour. Well, if you do per hour billing, you are changing yourself as well as your clients. Here's the thing. When clients pay you per hour and they can back out at any time, they're not going to get the results, right? So this is why I strongly encourage you to do 6 months offer or 3 months offer. This will give your clients enough time to get the transformation. So say, for example, let's use the weight loss coach example. You're a weight loss coach and you start to sell sessions for $100 and you say, oh, you can pay $100 per session and we can meet every week. Well, I pay you $100 for the first session. I come on the first session, and the first session you start to delve into my mindset around food. You start to delve into why I use food as comfort. You delve into why I'm using food to suppress my negative feelings. Now, after that first session, very likely I'm going to feel terrible. I'm going to feel terrible because as a coach, as a weight loss coach, you're going to expose to me why I'm using food to mask my negative emotions. At the end of that first session, I'm going to feel terrible. Now, if I feel terrible and I have the choice of coming back to you or not, I'm going to choose not to come back. I've paid you $100 for the first session. I'm not gonna want to come back because I felt terrible. Now, between you and I, we know that that is the process that will get me to the transformation I want, right? As coaches, we know that people will feel terrible first before they feel better. But then if you sell per hour sessions, then people are not going to you're going to get terrible reviews because people are going to say, oh, it didn't work for me. Well, it didn't work for them because you allow them to pay you per hour, and then they felt bad as as a natural progression to get to their transformation, but then they had a backup clause. But imagine if I had paid you 5K for a 6 months program. I've paid you 5K, 5K paid in full. Guess what? I am going to show up every single week. And as I do the work, I'm going to lose the weight. And as I lose the weight, I'm going to give you amazing testimonials. This is why I strongly recommend not to sell time blocks, package your offer like a product. The other thing I want you to do when you're structuring your offer is to include tangible deliverables, right? People want to see what you're getting for 5K if your offer is 5K. So, what are your tangible deliverables? For example, as a business coach, one of my tangible deliverables is creating a 6 figure offer, an offer that can take you to multiple 6 figures and even 7 figures. That's one of my deliverables. It's so tangible that when I work with you, the first week we create your offer. Another tangible deliverable is I'll help you build out your systems, right? Setting up the foundation of your business, everything you need to run your business in the background, the back end of your business, I'll help you set it up. That's a tangible deliverable. Another tangible deliverable is I'll help you create all of your social media posts. I'll help you create all of your email sequences, your webinar content, your masterclass content. I'll help you create your workbooks. So it's so tangible that when I talk about my offer, people want to buy. So I want you to do a soul search for your transformation, your coaching transformation. What deliverables, what tangible deliverables do people get? Another element of an offer that sells like hotcakes is when you build urgency in an ethical way, right? Build urgency in an ethical way, not to manipulate people and not to push people to make decisions they are not ready to make. So, how do you create urgency in an ethical way? Well, if you do one on one, you could say, I have limited spots, right? Everyone knows for one on one programs, there there's a limit to how many one-on-one a human being can do. So in your offer, you could say, I have limited spots. If you've been thinking about working with me, this is the time to jump in. In fact, last week in one of my social media posts, I said, well, if you've been thinking about working with me, now is the time to jump in. If you want to work with me one-on-one, because in Q3, I am moving to groups, right? So if you want my eyes on your business on a one-on-one basis, then you have to jump in and work with me before Q3 of this year, because then I'm moving to groups, right? So that's an ethical way to create urgency. Another way is to create a specific launch period and say, okay, I'm launching this offer and this is the start date, this is the end date. Another great way is to use bonuses. Use bonuses to sell your offer. One of the bonuses I add to my offer is I will do a double your income call. So if you join my program between now and Sunday, I'll say I'm going to add a bonus call called the double your income call. This is a call where I'll teach you how to double your income in 6 months. Okay. Now, one thing I discourage people from doing is giving discounts. If you do discounts as bonuses, then you start to condition your audience to only wait for when there is a discount. And that doesn't make sense. Okay. I also want you to price your offer based on the value, not on the time. So remember earlier, I talked about how to package your offer to see the transformation, not just the number of coaching sessions they'll have with you. So ultimately, you want to stop charging based on time. Stop charging per hour, charge based on value, right? So if you're off, let's say you're a weight loss coach and you do 2.5 for 3 months, then sell that, right? Don't sell per hour. The other thing I want you to add to your offer is social proof. Now, testimonials sell. Now, many coaches on social media tell you they're amazing. They tell you they can get you results. But the people that make the money are people who are able to showcase video testimonials. I tell you something. When I started to showcase video testimonials, my business just took off because people want to buy something that's tried and tested. So if you haven't been posting video testimonials, you need to start posting video testimonials to show people that other people have gotten results from your program. Now, if you do not have video testimonials, then start talking about your own story. You can build credibility from your own story of transformation. So use your own story until you get video testimonials. Lastly, I want you to test, tweak, and talk about it. Now, it's the confidence with which you sell your offers that actually sells. Now, I had a coach friend ask me this week was on Wednesday, and she said, "Oh, she isn't selling her coaching, like no one was buying." And I'm like, "Well, you're not speaking about your offer confidently enough." Right? It is the confidence and the conviction. Now, there's a difference between faking it. Like, I'm not asking you to fake it. You have to believe in the value of your offer. Like, it's that true belief in the value of your offer that will actually build your confidence up. And one analogy I always use is if you had the cure for cancer, right? How would you tell the world about it? Like, how confident would you be telling people about your cure for cancer? You would be so confident. Now, the reason you are so afraid to tell people about your offer is because deep down, you do not believe people can get the transformation. That's why you struggle to talk about your offer. You have to believe in the value of your offer. And you only build that belief by whether you have personally gone through the offer. So if you've lost weight using the offer you sell, then you should be confident speaking about your offer. Confidence sells. End of. So your job is to start building confidence in your offer. Because you are your first client. At the end of the day, you are your first client. So start building your confidence, start showing up. And the fastest way to build confidence is to talk about your offer consistently. Every single day, I talk about my offer. And that's why I'm getting better and better at selling my offer. So I want you to go out there, sell your offer, and talk about your offer more and more and more. Now, another thing many people struggle with is asking for money. So many people, especially women, struggle with asking for money. When I say asking for money, I mean when you sell your offer. So, for example, I teach people how to use master classes to scale, how to sell on master classes. And someone sent me their master class to review, and I watched the master class. The master class was excellent. She did an amazing job at the beginning. And then in the middle, when it got to where she was selling that offer, she just went so fast. Like you could tell she was afraid to sell. Now, you have to practice selling. You have to see selling as service. Remember my analogy when I said, if you had a cure for cancer, how would you sell? So, your offer should be the cure to somebody's cancer. What do I mean? As a business coach, if businesses are not making money, the lack of money is cancer. If I have the cure for that business person, then I'm going to sell it as I have the cure for cancer for that person. That's how confidently you should be selling your offer. So ask yourself, do I truly believe that my offer is the cure for someone's pain? If I do, then it's my obligation to serve. It's my obligation to sell. That's why I said selling is service. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you haven't already, please leave me a review on Apple Podcasts. It truly, truly helps me to get the word out about my podcast. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed already, and please send me a DM. How did this episode land for you? How will this episode help you create a compelling offer? I love hearing from all of you. And if you are not on my email list, you are missing out. The best way to get on my email list is to download one of my freebies. So go into my link tree so that any of my social media, you'll see the link, click the link, you'll see a list of all of my freebies. Just grab one of them and you get on my email list. This is sending you so much love, light, and joy. I'll see you back here on the next episode. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. If you have enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe and leave me a review. Share this episode with a friend to spread the message of hope, abundance, and possibility. And if you're ready to take the next step to amplify your voice, attract premium clients, and create consistent income, head on over to my website, www.joyroland.com, to learn more about my Joyful Money program or grab one of my free resources. Remember, making money can be joyful, and your story is powerful. Until next time, keep showing up, sharing your voice, and building the business of your dreams. Your voice is your power. Sending you lots of love, joy, peace, and light. Bye for now.